the aggregators. We've been busy, managing the enterprises. But when you look at Google, when you look at the Metas of the world, I think they're doing significant efforts basically to go, and the geos of the world, I think they're investing seriously, to basically, get the bottom up market, right? So that's where they're investing. So they're investing in, the market development. The third pie, as I see, is the OEMs. So while you have telcos which controls the customers, you have OTT which are sitting on the customers, you have OEMs which says that hey, finally it's my customer. So very soon you will see the OEMs opening up API and say, hey, I will give you messaging APIs, right? So I mean it will only get fragmented, right? Now again they're not regulated. It's again self-regulated. So I mean if you really want to basically create a level playing field, there has to be a regulation which has to basically cover up all of them. It has to cover OTTs, it has to cover OEMs, it has to control the RCS of the world, the Androids of the world, right? And it has obviously there are enough and more controls on the the operator messaging, right? So that's my view to this, right? I also believe that when you look at SMS, so so you asked this question a while back, that why is in spite of having better ROIs, why are you not seeing significant investments in SMS, right? I think it was touched upon that SMS is only unidirectional, so you can only communicate. But when you look at the the newer forms of communication, which is conversational, I think they are allowing two-way conversations. They're allowing to basically complete the loop, right? So when I get a message and I want to basically do a transaction, SMS doesn't allow that, right? But when you look at this rich media messaging, I think the loops are getting converted, and that's where
but
you
you
see.
can have conversations there, so you can have reply paths. It's just not easy to do.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can do it, absolutely, but it's not easy.
Look at the experience. It's not a great experience. Look at the interface. Look at the SMS interface, and look at your RCS interface. Look at the Meta interface. It's very different. Yeah. It's very, very intuitive. And I think what is happening is that they're spending a lot of time in understanding specific areas where the consumers are finding it difficult. So for example, they realize that consumers are finding it difficult to text, right? So they created buttons. Okay, so you can nudge the customers. Okay, so they just have to basically pick the right buttons and they can maneuver. The other thing is now they're working on voice. They realize that maybe perhaps there's a segment which is not comfortable even with the buttons, right? So they're creating voice interfaces, right? So I think they are doing the right market studies, consumer understanding, and investments, which is improving the product experience, right? Which has been a complete miss in SMS. SMS was what SMS was 30 years, 40 years back. There's nothing that has changed in SMS. No. Why do you see change? How do you expect change in the way market responds?
A lot, believe it or not, we are nearly at the end of our time together. We should have had an hour for this panel, but we only have 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep roughly to time. Your closing remarks on it. What do we need to do? The people sitting in this room, it could be using MEF as a neutral platform to engage on it. What does the business messaging industry in India need to do to improve the situation, to efficiently grow it? Because let's say that the fragmented reactions by governments and authorities all around the world to COVID, whatever happened, whether you view it as excessive or not enough, whatever your viewpoint is, has changed things. And it, I suppose, accelerated business messaging in an unnatural way. But what do you see happening in the next year or two here in India?
See, the first thing is to support the first question, and till the end of the session, whatever questions you have asked, it was very much focused about the small and medium enterprise segment. The very basic thing, what I understand is, if we go with the trend, SMS prices are going high, then I will raise my prices towards the higher side. Then maybe the enterprises and the smaller one may not get attracted towards this part of usage. Maybe the business model should be focused on use case basis. How many use cases you can develop for each segment, each industry or each company is different. They have a problem that can be solved by messaging. If the cost is prime focus, you can solve it by messaging.
Look, isn't this all about education? So platforms like at MEF to go and educate the mobile operator community as well. But it's not just the mobile operator community. It was mentioned in a comment earlier, I think it was Chris from Almeida from GTS earlier on made a point, and a good point, that I know when responses are made to mobile operators who are looking for a firewall, quite often you don't know exactly what the real traffic picture is. So you're firing blind in terms of your responses to a degree, and it's only when you're actually implemented and you see the real amount of traffic that you can really determine what the commercial model actually has to be to make it fly. And that, as a result, creates this unnaturally high situation. So it's not just mobile operators, it's
So that is what I'm saying.
well. So it's education.
It is us as CPaaS provider or as a CPaaS platform creator. You can't always see towards the mobile operator. They have their job, whatever they are doing, it's under their restriction. But we are the one who are touching base with the enterprises directly. We are responsible to carry out the traffic. We are responsible to educate them enough so that they can use this platform for various use cases, be it WhatsApp, SMS. If you want to increase usage on SMS, definitely build use cases that are easy to use for them at a minimal cost. Try to develop something, and then operators will follow. You don't have any encouragement for the operators unless they are encouraged to follow you.
Really, it's about the partnerships. You need to partner with the mobile operators.
Yes.
Banu, very, very quickly, last words from a few of you down at this end. Very, very quickly. Any final comments?
To be honest, in Indian context, especially what I understood, right, in this segment working last decade or so, it's very different for different people, right? Especially when you talk about the small businesses, right? Some people, they understand the usefulness of the tool they want to have. For instance, WhatsApp people are using. It's not that they're not using. They might not be using official business API solution, but every person, almost every person is on WhatsApp already here in India, right? Now, they might want to use it, use other tools, but they really don't know how, number one. So this is where I think you mentioned that, maybe we can come and definitely educate them, right? They might not need all the tools as a CPaaS company we need.
Thank you. I know
Different people, different use case, and different ways to reach out and ensure that they get better result.
Very quickly, Vinay.
I think to summarize this topic, it's key for all of us. And if you mentioned, the consumers are on the platforms, on the channels. The businesses are there. It's all about them finding value and creating more engagements on my channel of choice. And that will create the width versus the depth in one particular channel.
Thank you.
So just quickly on, regulation party said, I think a data privacy bill will decide the fate of WhatsApp and a lot of OTT players in times to come. It was supposed to be tabled this year, but it seems because of elections getting postponed. But that will define the future of how SMS grows, because your initial point was how SMS should be, volumes can be grown over the period in India. But the data privacy bill and the findings will be very interesting with that.
Fantastic. And go for it.
I think I covered most of it, but I think this conversational part of messaging will be a game changer. I think I truly believe that because, the moment of truth, you give the power to the consumer to interact. I think that will be a game changer.
Fantastic. And
yeah, and obviously digital is here to stay. So I think MEF and some of the other outreach programs to help CPaaS, people understand, or rather SMB customers understand that CPaaS is easy to adopt. And it's our responsibility to also make it easy for them to interact on the messaging channel.
And this is just a final thing I'd like to say. This is what we are going to be doing at MEF. So if you just type in RCS use cases into Google right now, you will find number 4 is MEF. You go straight to MEF, and the MEF members, like yourselves on stage, have real-life examples of RCS use cases. And I thought to myself last week, why on earth are we just doing it for RCS? We've got SMS. Hello? So what's going to happen is on the MEF website, we're going to be going out to all you MEF members here and asking you, so you can showcase on the MEF website, and I'm expecting hundreds, please, of real-life SMS use cases with brands, and this is what happened, and this was the result. So that's going to be up on the MEF website, and we're going to be doing the same for direct carrier billing as well, and anti-fraud on payments as well. So that will help give some real visibility and provide a real good knowledge base and resource. So I'd like to thank all the speakers. I appreciate all of you here left in the room. We're nearly there and finished with the event, but we have one more session, which should be very, very good. So thanks to all of you, and we have a little mementos of thanks. We'll start with Banu, please. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I'm taking this. I'll take this. Yeah, Banu, go for it. This is yours. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, come on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alok. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nitin. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely. Thank you. Whoa. Girish. You look surprised, don't be. Yeah. And Vinay. That's you, sorry. I know, Tushar. I know. I'm going to get there. I'm not doing very well. Sorry, we need to learn. Come on. There we go. And Tushar. Yes, it is you. It really is you.